All right, I've got Dave Moore and George Gibson here from Virtual Media. Now, I met these guys quite a while ago in about 2008 when they boldly and bravely jumped on a marketing course that I was doing with another guy in Wellington in New Zealand. And they were very good at what they did in terms of picking the stuff up and running with it, and have been doing some great marketing ever since. But the reason I want to talk to them is because they help architects up their virtual image game. So if you want to lift yourself to a higher level and you think that having better imagery is going to help you, and they're going to go into it more detail than me, but then these guys might be worth reaching out to. So I want to chat with them today. Welcome, guys. You guys are based in Wellington. Can you give us a quick run through about what you do and how you help architects to basically win better projects?
Yep, sure. So as you said, we've been operating for over 15 years, and our specialty is 3D visualization and digital marketing. We've got customers obviously in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and more recently the US. So with architects and designers, what we can offer is a service that takes their 3D design or their designs and turns them into very high resolution 3D images, walkthrough movies, all sorts of visual output that they can then use for their customers. It's part of the package that they're delivering to their customers, but they can also use it in their marketing. So if they're trying to up their game in their marketing, we can provide them some really slick imagery that really gets the message across what they do as an architect or designer. When we first started, I'll just go back a bit. I'll show you a little analogy. We met some architects and they didn't understand why they couldn't just carry on the way they were, right? And we tried to explain to them that some people don't necessarily understand when they look at 2D plans. So if I just share a screen.
Well, that's definitely the truth, right? So architects look at it and they go, isn't this brilliant? And the client just sees a flat bit of paper with lines all over it and goes, and don't understand. So I get that.
Yeah, so we've got something here we'll quickly show you to illustrate that.
Okay, so can you see that?
Yes.
So that's some sheet music, right? There's no title. And unless you're a really good musician, you won't understand what it is, right? And until I do this. Now it's bleedingly obvious what that is. And that was the same with architectural plans, right? So if I show you this plan, just like with the accomplished musician, if you're not don't understand plans, looking at a 2D drawing, say like this, you'd have to sort of look and check it out. This is a concept drawing. Imagine if it was a very complicated plan from AutoCAD or something. Most people will struggle. Architects, designers, and builders look at them all the time. They'd be happy with it. But so here's an elevation that's looking a little bit better now. And this is what the architect actually came up with as this concept 3D image.
And this is why the client in the end came to us. He felt that this wasn't to the level that his client was requesting.
So this is actually a building in Wellington, here in New Zealand. So what we did was this. Now straight away it's added a hell of a lot more context. You can actually see the street. People who are familiar with the area go, oh, I know where that is. And you get the idea. Another one that the architect produced this, and as you say, architectural software will do some of the heavy lifting. You can get to this stage, but with our service, you can get something much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can also do internals. So this is one of the rooms. That's another one.
So it's giving a clear picture of what it's going to look like and how it interacts with the environment around it. It's the other bonus, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's like it's basically real. It's almost like it's a real picture. I get that, because most people don't have that much vision. I mean, I know the architects do, and they look at something and go brilliant, and they stand up and cheer and clap. But unfortunately, they don't sell to other architects. They sell to people who don't see it.
Yeah. So what we did with those guys, we just take their output, their 3D output from their software, like you said, and then we turn it into these images.
Okay.
So here's another one. So this is an architect using ArchiPro, I believe, and he's tried to do a render using the software. So the software will go so far, but you've got to understand the software is primarily focused at design and architecture. It's not, those CAD tools aren't built to be primarily rendering tools. The rendering's kind of a bolt-on. Right. So yes, you can get something out of them, but we use tools that are primarily focused on rendering 3D images, right? They're not architecture tools. So we can do this.
Right.
And so the architect's client in this case wanted to get investors to invest in his project. And so going back to that image prior that Dave showed, it doesn't really show much context of where it is, you know, the location. So they approached us to take it to the next level. You see, if you go forward, it's shown in its natural surroundings. And if we go forward again, this is like the main house. And then they wanted to show off the view. So obviously that's an Akaroa. The main selling point of this development is its location. Okay. And obviously the architect couldn't get it to the level that he needed to get investors to firstly show interest and then obviously engage with them.
And one of the things to realise too is when you look at that and you think, oh yeah, well there's obviously a photo of the scene. A lot of it's really hard to tell where the reality starts and the virtual reality stops. So for instance, like the grapevines, they're all rendered. So we've got a massive library and we can render, you name it. So all the foreground has been rendered. So it adds so much context that you won't necessarily get, you normally don't get with architectural software.
Yeah, right. So, okay. So one observation I might make is that this is the type of thing that a big level developer would have and want and would be able to afford to do, whereas a smaller firm architect might just stick with their basic drawings from ArchiCAD or Revit. But this is lifting your standard up to the standard of the big boys. Is that?
Yeah.
So you do look like you're a serious player with this type of imagery. That's what you're saying.
Leveling the playing field a wee bit. It allows the architects to offer professional renders, and so they can, you know, bring on bigger clients or clients that are willing to spend more and have bigger developments.
Right.
So yeah.
And I mean, some architects might think, oh well, I could do this myself. Okay. But it's not as simple as just going down to your local software store, buying a piece of software, loading your PC, and off you go, right?
Yeah.
So let's go. I'll show you another. So we did some calculations a while back when someone asked us what it costs. So, for instance, the software we use, you're looking at about $2,000 to $3,000 per user per year just to have the software, even if you don't use it. And then the computer hardware you need, it's probably going to cost you 15 grand plus to get the sort of technology that's got the grunt to produce those images in a timely manner.
Yep.
And as I said before, one of the key things you need are the object libraries, unless you want to sit there and model everything yourself, which will take years and years. So you need to buy object libraries. And again, initial outlays are 10 grand plus to get all the objects you need.
Yep.
And if that's not bad enough, the training to use the software, it's very complex. So you're looking at 3 to 5 years to get to that standard that you saw before. And I mean, who's got time to do that? If you're an architect, you haven't got time for 3 to 5 years training on a piece of software you might use occasionally. You could look at employing an in-house expert, and I guess large firms might have enough capacity and power to do that. But again, you're looking at least 50K a year plus benefits for an employee. So overall, you're probably looking around 50 to 100K a year to run something like that. And
Yeah,
then
right.
the bottom line is, how much spare time has the average architect got once he's done all that to manage it? So if you've got a guy doing it, how have you got the time to manage it and check it and do all the other running around you need to do? So obviously, as you're saying before, large developers or large companies probably do it. If you don't have that capacity, if you're a small to medium firm, you could outsource it.
That's where we come in.
And that's where we would come in. So the cost per image, the cost is per image. So if you just want one image, you know, it's very low cost, and there's no additional overheads. It's not like you're suddenly going to get some hidden costs. It's, this is what I want, and we do it, and that's the fixed cost, and that's done. A little sneaky secret is they could, an architect could easily include the cost in their fees, and perhaps even add a small margin, which makes it cost neutral.
And they can also portray it like they're doing it as well. Like a lot of the clients we sit in behind, their clients don't even know we're doing it.
Yeah.
So sort of an added benefit there.
You don't need any additional hardware or software. You give us the 3D output from your tool, your software you're using, and we do the rest. You don't need any additional staff. Send us the files, we have a chat on the phone, we discuss what you need, and then off we go. The other thing you can do is once you've produced an image, sold it to a customer, it's still yours. So you could easily reuse the image as part of marketing, right? So suddenly your marketing collateral takes a massive jump up because now you've got some very slick 3D visualization, 3D images that you can show to other people. So here's one I did earlier, right? Or it's currently under construction, but here we go. Here's the building, whatever it is. And you can leverage our knowledge and expertise to assist with your marketing, because we've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, we know which angles work. We know what works for different kinds of projects. So we're happy to provide, you know, our knowledge and expertise to help people get
what trends and stuff are at the market and what people are using, competitors and stuff like that. So leveling the playing field again.
Yeah. So we know you like a chart, Richard, a good chart. So
I do like a chart, yes.
Yeah, a good simple chart that explains a lot. So we put this together. Basically what we're saying is, if you don't change what you're doing and you're just producing the very low end stuff, you're kind of down the bottom here, no change. Okay, low cost, but low quality. If you do it yourself and try and lift yourself up, sure, you can get the quality up, but it's going to cost you. What you want to do is,
and you might even just not, the quality might not even go up, but the cost keeps going up.
So you might spend a lot of money, but if you don't have the expertise or you don't do the proper training, whatever, you might still float down in the low quality, but it's cost you 50 grand or so. So what you want to do is you want to be here. You want a little bit more cost, but a hell of a lot more quality, right? So you're moving a little bit, cost goes up a wee bit, quality goes up a lot.
Right.
That's where we would fit in with them to say, we can give you that quality for not much more cost.
Okay.
And in fact, the cost might even go to zero if you can manage to sell the image as part of your fees.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Do you only do high-res imagery?
No, we do a bunch of other things as well. So we can do walk-through, fly-through movies.
Right.
We can do interactive models, so sort of the ones you can spin around and go inside and look at, zoom in, zoom out, that kind of thing. We can do light and shadow studies. Where's the sun going to be? Am I going to breach a recession plan or something with, you know, that's going to annoy the council or the local authority? We can even produce marketing collateral. So we've done that before. We've put together brochures with the images in it and copy and marketing copy. So we've got a bunch of services we can provide. It's not just the images like you saw before.
Okay. And what if the architect wants to make some changes to what you've done? Is it interactive, or can they make changes, or is it fixed?
So generally what we do with that is we produce white cards for angle confirms. So we'll get a project, we'd line up the house, for example, and we'll maybe do 3 or 4 different angles of the house, send it through to the client. They can give us feedback, or they can say, look, I like image 3. Then from there, we'll produce the first of 2 drafts. You can provide feedback on the first draft and the second draft, as long as within the scope of the project. And then from there, once you've gone through that process, we produce the final. But then if you want to come back, I suppose the best thing is to think of it, they are building an asset with us. And so if their client comes back and goes, hey, look, I've changed my mind. I want, a different wing or a different pitch roof or a different cladding or something like that. We just pick the project up from where we left off. And so you wouldn't start from the start in terms of costs and stuff like that as well. So it's a thing that a lot of the architects do use. We do offer design service in terms of, if you design something from scratch and it's not like a finished, fixed design, but that's sort of a different sort of pricing structure as well. But, that's something we're happy to chat with people as well. So.
Okay. And can you help architects market their services to win better projects?
Yeah, we can. So you may have seen this previously. We had done it before, but when you were in New Zealand, we do have a whole bunch of what we call sneaky secrets. This is one of them. So we put together little brochures about things that will help architects and designers to give them an edge. And we're happy to share those sneaky secrets or little insights or, hey, have you thought about this? We're happy to share all that for nothing. So we'll send them to them. We're constantly writing them based on our experience and what we know works. If you're trying to market a large building, what angles work best, what angles don't work so good. And then obviously each project's different. So depending what your project is, we can give you an insight of what we think is, or in our experience, is the best way to market it. But yeah, that's another service we offer, and yeah, we can do that. We'll just give them
right. So Pete, that's the 10 Sneaky Secrets. It's a good title for new age architects and marketers of architects. I wouldn't mind getting a copy of that and having a look. And if other architects want to get a copy of that, how do they get a copy of that?
So we can give them our contact details.
We'll leave the details below. If this is on, I'm not sure where we're posting this, but if it's on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere, we'll have look below, and you can we'll leave the maybe email address or something.
Yeah, there's an email address. There's a US number as well.
Yeah.
And we've got a website and we're on Facebook. And I think Dave and I are both on the Architectural Marketing Institute Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
So you can reach out there.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make that easily available for those who want this. Just thinking of time. You're based in New Zealand. Are there US companies doing the same thing?
Yeah, they are, but I'll show you a few reasons why outsourcing us might be an option. We're a low-cost jurisdiction compared to the US.
Yes.
At the moment, the exchange rate between the US dollar and the New Zealand dollar is very favourable to the US side.
Yes.
There's no sales tax because we're not in any state, so there's no sales tax. There is a time difference, but we have the flexibility that we can jump on a call or Zoom or whatever during the local working day in whatever US state. I was talking to someone the other day in California, and I think the time difference between us and California was not much difference to California and New York. So we can get around that. All the work's done in-house, so we don't outsource to third parties. We all do it here in Wellington. And all of our files, if anyone's worried about, I'm sending all my files, none of it's in the cloud. We have it stored locally under strict security and encryption protocols. So there's no way anyone can, nick your stuff. So
right. Okay. Sounds good. So I imagine my takeaway on all this is, if you're a small, medium-sized firm and you want to up your image game, you don't want to buy all the expensive software and hardware and spend years learning how to use it, but you just like the job done because there's some projects that warrant it. And ideally, if you come across a good project every now and again, you go, yeah, warrants it for this one, warrants it for this one. By the sound, you can collect a little portfolio of these really good images yourself, put them all together, and reuse them again on your website or in collateral and stuff like that. And it ups your game, and you don't look like a small player. You look like a big boy because you've got the fancy stuff without actually having to do it all. You just outsource it, pay a bit of money, and get it done. This is obviously how to get hold of you guys. So that's Dave and George, based in New Zealand, based in my hometown. And I recognize some of those building corners that you had there. Once you did I didn't recognize it when you had the architectural image version. But interesting, I knew exactly where it was once you gave me the real photo one, because like you said, I can see the context of everything around it, and I knew exactly where it was. So just near McDonald's.
The project that was for the customer that they were trying to win the work from doesn't know Wellington, so they needed to add the developer wanted as much context as possible so they could go, oh, okay, yeah, when they came to yes, I see where that is. And so that was them trying to get the architect and get it to win that better project from what they had been doing previously. So that's where, as you say, if you collect up all those high resolution images, those really sharp images, if you're going for a better project or going for those higher paying projects, that's going to be, essential to win the work.
Yep, definitely. Good portfolio. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. And
thank you.
Catch up next time in Wellington.
Yeah, for sure.
See you later.
See you, mate.